Alright, hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in once again to the Black Box Podcast, BBOR, Black Box Online Radio, coming to you from West Virginia. Today we're going to be talking all about William Cooper, perhaps one of the most influential conspiracy theorists on our current culture of American conspiracy theories, and just how they formulate. I really think that in terms of the 1990s, perhaps William Cooper was the biggest name tied into all of this, although that is an arguable statement. On this channel, I'm hoping to do a few things about the death of William Cooper and the sort of suspicious circumstances surrounding all of that. And we will get to that in the near future. But another thing that I was hoping to do, which was, it's not exactly like a project. I just wanted to kind of listen to more of his radio show, The Hour of the Time, which has been uploaded onto YouTube. And I don't really know if I can call that a project. That's just listening to some YouTube radio programs from the early 90s. But that was something that I had wanted to do. And I was going through that stuff, and the concept of tyranny was explored. And I thought that that was perhaps the best stuff that I came away with. William Cooper talking about tyranny, just mentioning that there is an epidemic in America. There is a disease in America. And that disease is not exactly tyranny. It's that the vast majority of the American population is allowing themselves to be taken advantage of, to be deceived, to be manipulated, to be dominated by tyrants, and they aren't doing anything about it. And this would be one time when I would be like, the conspiracy theorist hit the nail on the head. Have you ever tried to have these conversations with people like you right now, whoever you are? Have you ever tried to talk to people about some things, just about whether it's politics or government or philosophy, history or science, and you're just like, do you ever notice how everything seems like it's kind of rigged toward a certain group of people, and it's not really designed to benefit all the people, but only a certain group of them? And no matter what type of angle you're exploring in life, everything comes back to only benefiting a few and not everyone. And then you're just like, what's going on there? And a lot of people are just like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. That's the reaction that you get a lot of the time. And on the other hand, other people are sort of just like, no, that's the way it has to be. And then there's even a third group that doesn't say that's the way it has to be. They're the people that say, it doesn't matter. You can't change it. And I think that's really the stuff that William Cooper is really addressing, all three of those things. The people who are in denial, the people who are apathetic, and then there are the people who are just accepted as an inevitable reality, saying that tyranny is it's an okay thing. They're just like, yeah, okay, there are people that are more powerful than me, and I don't really have any say in what they do, so I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to carry on in life. And that's I think that's really how we get the concept of the term sheeple. They're just going to allow themselves to be herded. But, it's like, I don't necessarily know if everything that William Cooper said was correct. He said some very bold claims. We're talking about UFOs and aliens, and even the concept of behold a pale horse. The pale horse, right, that's from the book of Revelations, the fourth horse of the apocalypse, the pale horse that is running wild, right? Running wild and spreading the destruction and chaos. I don't necessarily know if I would be able to agree with him on everything, but just to say that we have tyranny in our lives, we have oligarchs in our lives, and we have a really broken system, and people are allowing it to happen, and people aren't doing anything about it, and the masses in the United States of America don't seem to want to change the system. And that's something that we really do need to address. Part of it is just the concept of apathy, but the other part is, and this is perhaps the interesting part, William Cooper actually put forward a possible solution to all of this, where he just sort of gives us the first start, like the stepping stone to it all. And that is that he just wanted more people to read the United States Constitution, and it would be like, learn what it is, left to right, up and down, learn it inside and out, learn the supreme law of the land and how it's meant to function. So then, if you believe that this system has become corrupt and so broken that it's beyond repair, the United States Constitution does allow for the creation of a new one. And this is all his. Those are all his ideas, not really my original ones. Absolutely not. Those are just things from Milton William Cooper. And I would say though, I find it very admirable when people are kind of addressing these major problems, and they are also coming forward with just any sort of a solution. Even if they're just proposing something like that, it's a start. I'll give him that. It is a start, and maybe it is a step in the right direction. The thing that I would add, though, is even if you're going to read the Constitution inside and out, there's some things that have to go into it. And that would be just like the Constitution is connected to Supreme Court cases over the last 200 and some odd years. Everything in it is evolving, and the Supreme Court can kind of decide that, okay, this amendment is actually meant to be interpreted in this way, and they rule this stuff. We have these things like Brown versus Board of Education determined that segregation is what? Unconstitutional, and specifically segregation in schools, right? That's just how the Constitution functions. It's connected to the Supreme Court cases. Another interesting fact about it is everything in the Constitution, in the articles, and in the amendments is connected to the preamble. It has to support the preamble, meaning, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. I'm sure you probably had to memorize that growing up. It's like, when you get to the stuff about promoting the general welfare and providing for the common defense, these things that we call the implied powers, if they were going to pass, Amendment number 28, saying that Congress does not have to provide for the common defense, or the government does not have to provide for the common defense. No, can't do that, because that would be contrary to the preamble and the implied powers, and it's just like, that is just something that would be unconstitutional. The articles and the amendments have to be in conjunction with the preamble, and then all of this stuff has to be in conjunction with the Declaration of Independence. Why? The single biggest lesson that I would say that I've learned in adulthood is everything in the law is interlocking. That's right, interlocking. Every law that you have is going to be connected to a different law. And, this is like, this thing that Bill Cooper's putting forward about learn the Constitution is, it's a good start. It really is. And we just got to also learn, though, about how the law is interlocking and how all of these things are interconnected. And once you get to the 9th and 10th Amendments, you're dealing with the state and the individual, and you're going to be dealing with a lot of other laws. But education and knowing your rights is going to be a huge thing. And knowing how you can change the system, which is what I think William Cooper was trying to go for. And sorry for that really kind of, perhaps a little bit boring to just talk about all that stuff. But it's the heart and soul of what we're dealing with. It's just kind of like, there is something that is going on. Oligarchy is a real thing. People want power only reserved for certain groups.